Good afternoon for our Australian listeners, and welcome if you're listening from anywhere overseas. My name is Brendan Parnell, and it's welcome to the final game in round one of the Wheelchair National Basketball League. And coming to you today from a brand new venue, Northern Beaches Indoor Sports Centre, hosting their first game, despite it being the third game of this series between the Manly Wheel Eagles, a new team into the league, and the Wollongong Roller Hawks. Already in round one, we've seen two 3-game series. The Red Dust Healers from Victoria completed a 3-0 sweep in Adelaide against the Thunder this afternoon, and the Perth Wheelcats, in search of title number 9 in the Australian Wheelchair Basketball League, they also completed a 3-0 series win at home against the Spartans from Southern Districts in Queensland. This afternoon's game, it's the third game of the series that the two teams have played this weekend. The Wollongong Roller Hawks have had the better of the first two games, but I'm pleased to be able to introduce Campbell Fraser, who can tell us a little bit about what to look forward to in tonight's third game, this afternoon's third game.
Yeah, I think looking at these two teams, that certainly you would expect the Roller Hawks to have a little bit more power. They've got 4 former or current rollers, which is the men's wheelchair basketball team for Australia. 4 players from that team, so really pushing quite strong. But Manly does have quite good forwards, I think, and that's kind of the threat that they'll be pushing forward, with Annabelle Lindsay and Bill Latham being 2 very tall, very strong shooters and even strong defenders with their height. So I'm hoping to see a more competitive game here. The scores haven't quite reflected what I would expect to see from these two teams in the past 2 games. But yeah.
And the idea, Campbell, of it's always difficult for a team coming into a league as a debut, for their debut season, despite, as you mentioned, having players of the calibre of Bill Latham, one of the current Australian rollers, and Manuel Fuentes Cervante, who's from the Mexican program by way of US college, but tricky to get a handle on them experience-wise in terms of gelling together against a team as vastly experienced as Wollongong.
And with a team that's so experienced together, I mean, again, the 4 rollers who have played together, trained together for years, and I think that's kind of a clear thing of this being round one. These teams have obviously trained together, but kind of figuring out how they play together. I would expect to see both teams kind of gel a little bit better as time goes on, and hopefully seeing that more, especially with international imports. I think it's difficult to find those teams gelling in the first round.
As we can see the player introductions being done now. That was the Wollongong Roller Hawks, who are wearing the white uniforms, and here the Manly Wheel Eagles, their first game at home, wearing a maroon strip with some teal or blue numbers. Introductions being done there. As I mentioned, this is round one of the 2024 Wheelchair National Basketball League, a league that hasn't seen a title holder anointed since back in 2022, and it was in fact the Wollongong Roller Hawks way back then, but a fantastic thing for wheelchair basketball in Australia, being a Paralympic year, to see that the National Men's League and the Women's League, which will commence next week, are back in action. The national anthem is out of the way, and understandably, given it's the debut game at this venue for this team, Manly, who are new into the league, a little bit of pomp and ceremony going on. 7 teams in the Wheelchair National Basketball League this season. Each of those teams will play their opponents in a 3-game series, so 18 games in total for each team, and the top 4 teams at the end of that regular season will make their way to the finals. So we can see our 3 referees making their way over. Fist bumps for the bench, as is the vogue these days, one of the legacies of COVID. The players going through their final warm-ups. As you're looking at the screen, Wollongong on the right in the white uniforms, and the Manly Wheel Eagles on the left, maroon with the blue or teal trim. Our referees very attractively attired as well, with the not content with the grey shirts, but the nice green sleeves there to make them stand out amongst the players.
New uniforms.
Yeah.
Just for them, just for this league.
Well, it's the first year that Wheelchair Basketball Australia has taken over the administration and management of the league. Formerly a league that was run by Basketball Australia, but Wheelchair Basketball Australia have decided that this is the time for them to take over this as a sole product, and with the full endorsement of Basketball Australia, but a really positive step, I think, for the sport. As we see Annabelle Lindsay just moving off, former glider, Australian national women's team. It'll be a chance now for the respective head coaches, Rowan Foy with the Manly Wheel Eagles. We can see the huddle there on the left, and Brendan Dowler, vastly experienced with the Wollongong Roller Hawks, to just remind their respective outfits of what sort of tactics they're going to be focusing on. And these teams will be familiar with each other, Campbell. It's a strange situation, having played twice yesterday. As we mentioned, convincing wins to the more experienced Roller Hawks, but an opportunity maybe with a night's rest and maybe some run through this morning for the Wheel Eagles to look at some different tactics potentially.
And hopefully a chance for them to gain a little bit of pride back, knowing that they're rested, that they've seen what their opponent can be, and hopefully learning something from it.
As we see the starters for the Wollongong Roller Hawks in the white, it's Sean Russell in 1, Hannah Dodd in 9, Stephen Elliott 10, Luke Popel in 13, and the inimitable Tristan Knowles in number 19. And for the Wheel Eagles, just ensuring they've got the same lineup. Yes, it's number 1, the Mexican international Emmanuel Fuentes Cervantes. Number 7, Victoria Simpson. 9 is Reese Baxter. 12, Bill Latham, current roller, of course. And 13, Michael Gray. And we're underway. First possession to the Roller Hawks. Tristan Knowles running the point there. Luke Popel gets it across. It's in the paint. First 2-point shot, Stephen Elliott. Nicely run set there. As we see Fuentes Cervantes running the point there. Ball off to Bill Latham, back to Fuentes Cervantes. Latham, little behind the back pass there. It's up for 3. The bank is open for the first score for the Wheel Eagles. Shot clock expiring in the background. If you're wondering about the shot clock, you look above each of the backboards at either end, you'll see the number in red. Each team allowed 24 seconds to construct a shot. As we see Knowles launched that one unsuccessfully, but an offensive rebound for Wollongong. Knowles again surveying Finds somebody open inside.
A
Luke
little bit of
Popel.
confusion there as the timer goes.
I think Luke Popel might have thought he was fouled there, attempting to make that layup. As the Wheel Eagles inside. And it's Bill Latham drawing some contact there, and he will head to the free throw line. By dint of being fouled in the act of shooting, hit on the head there, the referee indicates. He will have 2 free throws. Each of those free throws worth 1 point each. First one's good.
That could end up being important, having already one foul. Tristan Knowles being quite an experienced ball carrier for this team. You don't want to see him get into foul trouble.
He could potentially be targeted.
And we know he plays aggressive. He does play pretty tough.
Knowles finding Luke Popel there, and he calmly puts that long 2 down. Tyler Gauci on the floor now for the Wheel Eagles as well in 11. As Fuentes Cervantes finds his way to the hoop for 2. Luke Popel bring it up. Hands off to Tristan Knowles. He refuses the high screen there, but makes his way back into the paint. Cut. Puts some nice spin onto that layup. Successful.
It's a difficult position to put such a low point player in Kylie Gauci into against Tristan Knowles. I mean,
and the bank is open again for Bill Latham. Calmly with that precise shot from above his head. Popel. Ooh, touch pass goes astray there from Knowles. Kylie Gauci's out on the break. She thinks better of it. Wheels around. Tries the shovel pass, but that's out of bounds. You mentioned Campbell, Kylie, point allocation here. We should, all of our viewers may not be aware, 14 points, the maximum any team is allowed on the floor at any one time, and each of the players has a classification that represents their disability, level of disability. Fuentes Cervantes now for Manly, tries the no-look pass.
a little too much experience to get away with those passes.
Yeah, Knowles well aware of that. As we see Popel glides through the key. Finds Knowles at the top for 3, that's off. Offensive rebound, bobbled out of bounds by Stephen Elliott.
A little bit panicked, the Rollerhawks. Shots like that where Tristan's quite wide open, you would expect those to fall down.
Fuentes Cervantes down in the post, looking at his options. Against Hannah Dodd there. Offensive rebound. Beautifully shoveled off and finished. Tristan Knowles seeing what sort of cutters, but the referees found a foul before that pass was made. Foul on Reese Baxter, holding the cutter there. We'll have a look at what the Rollerhawks can manufacture from this baseline out of bounds. Simple pass. Back to Popel, long 2, thinks about it, fakes. Finds his way down in the paint, goes for the reverse. High off the window, it's good.
Very difficult shot, even just controlling the chair, moving backwards like that.
Kylie Gauci finds the pass inside, but the Wheel Eagles unable to finish.
beautiful pass there too.
It's the man you don't want to see on transition, Tristan Knowles. He backpedals out. Gets the pass back from Popel. Looks, finds a cutter. It's Russell, but he's off. But another offensive rebound for Wollongong. Luke Popel, that 3 is off. The rebound will stay with Manly.
I like the style of defense that Manly's got going. Playing very high and kind of pushing out to the three-point line, but keeping Bill Latham in so that if anyone does get a rebound inside, he's there to kind of reject it.
Fuentes Cervantes. Looking, wheeling around. Throws the ball into some heavy traffic. It's picked off by Sean Russell. Popel finds his running mate Tristan Knowles. Knowles heavily guarded there. Kylie Gauchi takes a spill and the referee's found a moving screen with the chair.
That's a very unfortunate foul.
Stephen Elliott, I think, assessed with that foul.
I think they'll get that called pretty often because only because a low point player tends to be a little bit lighter and shows a hit a bit more. There probably wasn't too much contact in that, but
there's a few raised eyebrows as we see Nick Taylor and former roller Brett Stibners, the gold medal winner at the 2008 Paralympics, onto the floor for Wollongong. Stibners in 11. That shot is off.
Just a little bit too quick on the release there.
Taylor kicks it across. Knowles, back to Taylor. Calmly makes the 2.
And just as I said, I liked it. The Manly Wheeler Eagles have fallen back into that, back into more of a zone defense that I think won't work against long shooters of the Roller Hawks.
Kylie Gauchi finds Fuentes Cervantes, but his 3 is off. Knowles looking to see if he can find a lane to the basket. Finds Russell. Ball's gone loose. Stibners kicks it out. Taylor to a cutting Hannah Dodd, but she can't make that layup. She feels a little aggrieved too. May have been fouled. Kylie Gauchi looking inside there. She finds Fuentes Cervantes. Oh.
Unnecessary foul there, really. I think he wasn't quite looking for that contact.
And it's Cooper Tarleton who's the recipient of the 2 free throws. First is off. We saw Kylie Gauchi bringing the ball down the floor there, running the point. Kylie notionally what we would call a 2-point player in classification, but by dint of being a woman playing in the men's league, she reverts to a 1-point classification. It's what a red card, I think the league calls it.
Yeah, I think they call those a red card, and junior players, so under I believe 16 maybe.
I think for this year they've altered the rules a little bit. It's for female players under 25 and male players under 23, or for players who it's their first year in the league, as a way of trying to equalise ability and experience. They can have a red card which would equate to a 1-point deduction from their notional points assessment. So you see Kylie Gauchi pushing the ball down. Again, she decides there's nothing really on offer. Fuentes Cervantes, pass, cut. He's expertly guarded by Knowles. No problems though for Bill Latham.
I think that's the shooting that we've been waiting to see from Bill Latham. Didn't quite have the percentage in the past couple games, but
Stibners with the overhead pass there back to Knowles. That shot's off. Fuentes Cervantes with the rebound. Looks to push. Plenty of traffic up ahead. Latham's found an opening. A little long with that shot. That'll disappoint him. And Knowles streaking out on the break, but Fuentes Cervantes got there. found a way to get a hand in front. Cooper Tarleton. Oh, that pass has gone astray.
Little miscommunication there.
Sean Russell off to the races, but Fuentes Savante, amazing chair speed. They're able to get back and deny the initial transition, but he has fouled and given up 2 free throws as we inch towards the end of the first quarter here. This game coming to you from the Northern Beaches Indoor Sports Centre in Warriewood, the Northern Beaches of Sydney. The home team, the Wheel Eagles, sponsored by the Sargood Foundation, which is based just up the road in Collaroy. Facility for those living with spinal cord injury. Fantastic facility and wonderful to see them involved in the league. Sean Russell misses the second. Wheel Eagles often moving. Jared Emney looks fantastic. What are that chair speed again? Things that look like they're going to be contested. He's first player onto. A little bit of a no-look pass, and again fouling the jump shooter. Cone Janssens will find his way to the free throw line.
Really a good show from the Wheel Eagles so far. This is much more of that aggression and that power that I was expecting.
As we see a timeout to the Wollongong Roller Hawks, Brendan Dowler wants to have a discussion, no doubt, about what's happening there. It seemingly, Campbell, the transition defence has been extraordinarily effective from Manly.
Manly's had a lot more of that speed, and I think that's certainly what you were pointing out between Gauchi and between Fuentes, Cervantes, really controlling those fast breaks, because that's kind of what Wollongong wants to push, especially Tristan Knowles. We know he's very fast and likes his open layups, and being able to shut that down, I think that's pushed them into further outside shots and shots that they're not as comfortable with.
Even looking at the raw numbers, the previous 2 games held yesterday, one at Shell Harbour Stadium, one down at the Snake Pit, the Roller Hawks scored 94 points in both those games, and you look now that the Wheel Eagles have been able to restrict them to just 10 in the first 9 and a bit minutes. It's a remarkable effort.
I think that's credit to their defense, really. I've been quite impressed by that defense, being very switched on, quick switches. A lot of communication has come through. I think that's really helping them out with a little less experience, but that fire in them to get that win.
2 shots for Cone Janssens here. No problems with the first. A 4-point lead now for the Wheel Eagles. Just 40 seconds left. You can see a healthy crowd in the background as he converts the second. Runs in a little bit of traffic trying to get himself back in transition defence. Tristan Knowles tries the no-pass offense, but that 3 bobbles out. Almost a steal there, but the ball will stay with the Manly Wheel Eagles. Janssens inbounds. Fuentes Savante. Not much ball pressure on him at the perimeter. Surely, there it is, the 3. It's a little long. Whether they're giving him that shot by design or not, hard to tell.
Even just taking that shot, showing the Roller Hawks that, hey, I'm willing to take this shot. If you leave me open, eventually it will drop. And he's certainly got the range for it, I think.
I don't think Bill Latham, in retrospect, will be pleased with that that foul. That's going to send Wollongong all the way down the other end for 2 free throws. A foul in the backcourt just after the rebounding contest. Brett Stibners makes no mistake with the first. Vastly experienced former Paralympian. bit of confusion here as to whether that actually was the bonus. I think they allowed Bill Latham to take that first shot, but they've now worked out that the bonus was round the other way. So that foul, in fact, wasn't the 5th team foul for the quarter, which would have resulted in 2 free throws. So in a moment, that point will come off the board.
I was just thinking that it seemed a little bit early to have 5 fouls.
It seemed quite a mistake for such an experienced player to make. Brett Stibners finds a way to get 2 points anyway, just before quarter time, and time will run out before that last shot. Nonetheless, the screen may show 15 all, but I think there'll be an adjustment from the score table shortly. 15-13, we think the score is, allowing for the fact those free throws, the first one that was made, shouldn't stand up. But nonetheless, Manly would, I don't know what's going on in that huddle, but they'd have to be overjoyed, Campbell.
They'd have to be proud with that, especially considering that Wollongong really did put their strong players on. They did push them pretty hard. I think both ends have been really towards Manly, with their shooting percentages going up a bit, and just looking a little more confident, and that defense being stronger, being a bit faster, and closing out on those long shooters. I think that's really important against these Roller Hawks.
Okay. We mentioned earlier in round 1, Wheelchair Basketball Australia. If you're looking for any links, stories, highlights, live stats, any of the social media feeds, you'll find them on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Just search for Wheelchair Basketball Australia. A fantastic service provided there, and you'll be able to link through to each of the respective teams' social media accounts for more information and profiles on players. As mentioned, despite the fact the gliders aren't going to the Paris Paralympics, falling back one cycle there, the rollers will be there, and this league has always been part of the foundation of the Paralympic programs, and it's certainly fantastic to see it back in action for the first time since 2022. The men's league originally established in 1988, the women's league in 2000, so they've been long-term fixtures on the sporting landscape in Australia. Second quarter about to get underway. It's the Manly Wheel Eagles, the home team, in the maroon uniforms, maroon with the blue trim, and their opponents, the Wollongong Roller Hawks, defending champions from 2022. A 3-second violation there, too long in the key. Anytime a player on the offensive team spends more than 3 seconds inside that trapezium, you can see marked on the floor. Officials will generally give a warning, and then if the players aren't open to moving, a violation will be called and the ball will be turned over. Stibners finds Knowles out on the perimeter. He's certainly been well covered today. Launches into a long 2, but a little bit of a forced shot and hotly contested. Fuente Savante, who's been a real star so far with his pace. Down the floor, he's certainly got an unusual manner of moving the ball around across his chair.
He's very quick and very comfortable with the ball handling. I think that's possibly a threat to the Roller Hawks, seeing someone so comfortable, and obviously someone who's not from the Australian programs, so kind of sizing him up and figuring out how he plays.
So the Roller Hawks at the moment, both their female players on the floor, Victoria Simpson and Kylie Gauchi, or 2 of their 3, should I say, as they find a way to another 2. And in fact, the score we've had verified is 17-13, even though it may still show 15 on your screen. So Manly by 4 at the moment, make that 2. As Nick Taylor smoothly makes the mid-range jumper for Wollongong. No transition for Fuentes Savante this time. They are still packing off him there on the perimeter. 3-point utility is available. So he weaves that ball around his chair. Shot clock running down to 2. They're not going to get anything off.
Really good defense from the Rollerhawks there. I think they put a little bit more pressure on the ball there, and just not allowing them any movement. I think that's what Manly's been pushing, is that kind of fast ball handling, fast moving. And if they're shut down, if they're looking for set shots, they're not quite as comfortable.
Tristan Knowles defended by Kylie Gauchi expertly as well. Gauchi, former glider herself, part of the Australian women's program. A little bit of contact in the paint there. The closest official has found a foul.
The players a little bit confused by that contact, by that foul call rather.
Yeah, certainly some bemused looks, but as usual, they're getting on with it. High arcing shot, catches the backboard before anything else. And, oh, got a turnover on that outlet pass. Sean Russell trying to find a way down the paint. He's fouled before the shot is the call. And referee Ron Joseph's there.
Probably a smart foul there, just to reset the defense, get things a little bit organised.
Oh, almost the perfect baseline out of bounds play there, but unable to make the layup. Here's speedy man again, Fuentes Savante. But Tristan Knowles is not letting him go anywhere. Another smooth perimeter shot there.
I think
Bill Latham.
Knowles knows that run a little too well to let it slip by him.
Knowles draws some contact, no call. Finds Stibners. Really lovely fake. 1, 2, 3 fakes, and then managed to get the ball through the defender's outstretched hands.
Aggressive hands there too. Players getting a little bit fired up at the moment.
Latham, that one a little off the mark. Comes Knowles. He peels out to the left-hand side of the court to see what cutters are available and decides he's going to shoot the 3. That's gobbled up by Fuentes Savante, and he's off again. Wheels around. There's a foul's called. Probably a good time, Campbell, seeing Fuentes Savante down the floor so quickly. You might just clarify for anybody who's not sure exactly how many pushes of the chair he's allowed to have between each dribble.
So you can have 2 pushes as long as those 2 pushes are either both hands at the same time, that's considered 1 push, or one hand on one wheel will be considered 1 push. So theoretically, if you can push twice, you can go down the entire court. There's no distance associated with a travel.
Just have to take a dribble between each of those 2 pushes. If we see him launch another 3, the shot that Wollongong seem content to give him at the moment, and that is a straight.
And you'll rarely see a double dribble called or travelling.
Popel managed to break down the initial defense and then found Hannah Dodd. She converted the layup. There's a foul in transition. I think the foul on, the referee indicated white, but I think it's on Bill Latham there.
Nice to see quite a decent audience for these games.
Yeah, it's exciting times for the folk down at Manly. It's the first time they've had a team a wheelchair team at this level of play. A fantastic community facility and fantastic community underpinning the entire association, organisation and sport in the region. That one's off from Popel.
Really aggressive defense there.
Oh, that was almost a beautiful bounce past Cone Janssens. Just accelerated when it hit the floor. A little too hot for anybody to handle. Sean Russell back to Popel. Tristan Knowles taking a break at the moment. As the Wollongong team turns it over.
Just a little bit of a lazy pass there, honestly.
Fuente Savante, in his inimitable fashion, ball moving wildly around across his chair. Thinks about the long two, takes another bounce, tries the give and go. Unfortunately, that's a little astray. Tori Simpson unable to reel it in, and Wollongong off and running the other way. Stibners sees a wide open Popel, and that's good.
That's the defense I want to see from Manly, even though that shot did go in. But you saw players running, getting there, trying to block that shot. A little bit of ball contact.
We've seen a collision there. Referee Joseph is coming in. He's a particularly calm individual in all his officiating, and he's decided there's no foul per se there, but we will see a timeout from Manly. Just a little bit of confusion about the scoreboard, which dates back to that. They've settled on Manly still up by 2 at the moment. 23-21, as you can see on the screen. Burst of enthusiasm there from the DJ at the Northern Beaches Indoor Sports Centre. Fuente Savante with the ball for Manly. Almost finds an opening there. Tries the mid-range shot. Possibly a little rushed. Russell kicks it ahead to Luke Popel. Charlie Gauchi now. Pushing the ball up for Manly. It's off again. Savante had a height advantage there. So we'll see a large collision. Court. Both teams appealing. Ron Josephs makes a call. He's determined it's a team control foul, so the foul on Hannah Dodd. Tricky one to work out there, Campbell.
It's a messy situation, especially when a couple players come out. It's one of those things that you've really got to hope that one of the referees was further back, looking forward. do end up having incidental contact that just they can't call either way because it would be unfair if they didn't see it.
Yeah, I think you need to look at that in slow motion. It was almost 4 chairs combining to collide on the same point of the floor. Really tricky to determine who actually is at fault. Still very much an arm wrestle here, 23-21. We mentioned the huge scores earlier in the weekend, and some significant adjustments have been made by Manly. And they're going to be the beneficiaries of that foul from the collision, as the referee's determined.
I think Manly finding a few different ways to score has been really important for them here. Last game being predominantly scoring through Bill Latham. Even his shot percentage being at 43% for that last game. Finding a couple of the shooters has been really valuable.
Tyler Gauchi back to Latham trying to post up there. He's actually double teamed. Fuentes Samonte used that as almost a screen for that shot, but unable to knock down the 15-footer. Knowles wide open. You expect that to go down, and it does.
I think that's the shot he's been looking for a little bit. Had a few missed shots that weren't quite what he'd like. It's probably putting his fire back in him.
First time since the first minute of play, the Wollongong side are in front, but only for about 15 seconds as Kylie Gauchi makes the free throw line jumper. Great hands there from Fuentes Samonte. It's appealing that it might have come off Nick Taylor again, but the referees are having none of that. As we see baseline out of bounds for Wollongong in the white. What sort of play they run here. Manly really packed their defence in. It's another moving screen. It's Tim Markrow this time who's just onto the floor for Wollongong. I think number 8.
I think Manly players were a little bit worried there, thinking that foul might have been called on them.
Tyler Gauchi there going to roll into the front court. She effortlessly picks it up. Swings the ball on the left, back to her right. Latham is taking up residence at the free throw line. Fuentes Samonte in a bit of a jam. Shot clock runs down to 10. Latham looks, gets the friendly roll. Oh, 3 more Knowles. Looks like somebody lit the fuse.
Knowles is quite the confident shooter, and having those couple go in, he's kind of feeling a little bit better.
Tyler Gauchi swings from right to left. Probably fortuitous shot blocked there. Fuentes Samonte back to Gauchi. Really operating in a phone box there in the corner. Not much going on. He launches a 3 and has been fouled as some consternation from the Wollongong defenders.
I think that's a hard call to make whether the defender initiated that contact, but I think that's what they're always going to call. Got to pick it up and move on.
Really didn't have too many other options with the shot clock running down. Shooting woes continue just after such a bright start to the game. I think all the players there forgot that was 3 free throws. Cervantes fouled shooting a 3-point shot, therefore he would get 3 attempts, but unfortunately for Manly, he's missed the first 2 of those. And the third. Wollongong with a 4-point lead, courtesy of those last 2 threes from Knowles as he goes for 3 in a row. That one is off. Gray the rebound for Manly. Kylie Gauchi brings it up again. Switches hands, sees something she likes. Can't get it to go. Stibner's the rebound for Wollongong. Out that pass to Knowles. He sees a streaking Luke Popel. He thinks better of it. Knowles uses the Popel screen. Head fake, a hook pass across the key to Stibner's. His shot's off. Kylie Gauchi is off and wheeling. She peels around, stands up Knowles brilliantly and is fouled. Fantastic chair work there and finishes up on her back.
Incredible read there. Knowles just overcommitting a little bit to the defense. Playing a little bit safely and then moving straight off that as he...
And we've got a technical foul assessed as well for disputing decisions, I think. So we'll see the technical foul shot first, I'd imagine. That's good.
Quite sure what the technical foul was for.
I think at disputing decisions, the referees had given a broad warning on the previous concerns that some players expressed around the foul on the 3-point shot.
Just leave it alone, move on.
Yeah, impressively officiated, I think. They're very calm and certainly was done in a very matter-of-fact fashion. Kylie Gauchi continues, that's 4 points in a row that Manly's left at the free throw line. Inside the last minute, first half. Make that 5, but brilliant rebound for Cervantes. Finds Latham. And back to a 1-point game. That's one way to cover up from missed free throws. Looking to run this down for 1 shot for Wollongong, the last shot of the half. Finds Stibner's inside, he's fouled.
Unfortunate time to foul so close to the end. It's not necessary though.
Contact on the elbow. Shooting elbow, according to the official there. Brett Stibner's will have 2 free throws himself. It seems. So this is the first. Ball bobbles around, everybody wants a touch, but they insist the official touches at last. The second one's much better shot. Gauchi kicks ahead. Cervantes cut off at half court. Clock running down. He launches a moon ball that doesn't find anything. Yeah, I thought that may have hit the ceiling, but nonetheless a fantastic first half of wheelchair basketball here for the last game of round 1. Wollongong up by just the 2 points, Campbell. Probably something you didn't expect, or you did?
Something that that I was expecting looking at these two teams, but that really didn't reflect the two past games. I think this is much more what I was expecting from these two teams. I think they're both very competitive and they deserve to have something so close.
All right, well, we will be back shortly with more third quarter action in this last clash of the National Wheelchair Basketball League. Welcome back. It's game 9, the last game of the first round of the Wheelchair National Basketball League for 2024. This game is coming to you from for the very first time, the Northern Beaches Indoor Sports Centre. My name's Brendan Parnell. I'm joined by Campbell Fraser. And Campbell, it's been a really impressive first half from the brand new team into the league, the Manly Wheel Eagles. It managed to turn around 2 really significant defeats earlier on yesterday against the Wollongong Rollerhawks.
And I'm really liking how Manly's you could almost expect them to come out of those 2 games and say, well, maybe this game won't go so well, kind of put their heads down, but they've really come out of here firing, playing really aggressive, really fast, and I think it's a very impressive thing on their behalf to push and fight for this game that really is going relatively their way.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the impressive roster that the Rollerhawks have. 3 current rollers: Luke Popel, Tristan Knowles, Sean Russell, and a former Paralympic gold medalist in Brett Stibners. It's a vastly experienced lineup, to say the least.
And certainly very intimidating for some of the players that are newer to the league, to the game.
Speaking of Tristan Knowles, he's getting us underway. He has the ball now for Wollongong in the white, Manly in the maroon. Ball's kicked back out to Knowles. He's come out of his chair. Incidental contact. The officials are ruling Manly streaking away. Bill Latham draws some contact. Provides a circus shot after the foul, which won't count. It'll be Manly's ball from the baseline. Probably a good result for Wollongong there. Looked like a 2-on-0 break. Kylie Gauchi to inbound for Manly. Finds Latham. He's got the ball up above his head. Skips it across. Cooper Tarleton is looking for a handoff. Finds Fuentes Savante. He's wheeling around. Kylie Gauchi setting a screen there. He looks at 3. It does everything but go down.
You could see he wanted that shot for at least 5 seconds. He was looking for it, seeing if he could take it.
Luke Popel gliding down the floor. Finds Tristan Knowles. He thinks shot. Thinks better of it. Back to Sean Russell. Back to Knowles. Looking at 3. Closely guarded there. Popel takes a little dribble to the side. But it's Latham with the rebound. Racing down the floor. Finds Gauchi. Gauchi with the layup. Really just a little off balance as he shot that one. Our officials, Adam McIntyre, has stopped play there.
As soon as the player's down in the middle of the play, they'll call it, let them get up if it's considered unsafe.
Okay, and the shot clock not resetting there. Manly to resume. It actually has come back to 14 seconds for Manly. Fuentes Savante takes that pass from Kylie Gauchi. Looks, wheels, getting a screen there from Cooper Tarleton, but that screen just kept readjusting to the point that the referee said it's a moving screen. And Manly will turn the ball over.
Referees doing very well paying attention to very little details like that. Some of those plays can go pretty well unnoticed. And if you're wondering when they inbound like that, Tristan Knowles not picking up the ball for a little bit allows them to get the ball further down without the clock starting. So the shot clock only starts once the player picks the ball up.
As Knowles finesses a calm 2 from the elbow in to push Wollongong's lead to 4. And then a turnover in transition. A man you don't want to turn it over to, Knowles. He finds a streaking Stephen Elliott, but his shot is short, a little off balance as he shot that one. And there's some contact drawn expertly by Cooper Tarleton as he wheeled around.
Good fight there to get the shot up as well.
Yeah, he managed to lean his chair almost into the defender's chair, and the referee just explaining to Brendan Dowler that that was contact.
Looks like Stibners is arguing a little bit there as well.
A little bit of humour there. It's always good to see. relationship between officials and coaches. There's Cooper Tarleton makes the first free throw for Manly, who'd had trouble from the free throw stripe in the first half. And the second. Closes that gap down again. Knowles inbounds, gets it back. Kylie Gauci, ever present at the point there, has done a great job denying Knowles any direct line penetration. Popel thinks about it. Oh, a couple of point-blank misses there, Sean Russell. Oh, but man again, turn it over in transition. Popel. Back to Hannah Dodd. Got some contact in the lane.
A little bit of an unfortunate foul there, just not quite getting in front, and referees being very careful not to call, not to allow play getting on unless the play is fully in front. Some players might argue it a little bit, but that is certainly what they would be taught to call.
Fuente Savante assessed that foul. Luke Popel looks for something that he likes the look of from the inbound pass. Inevitably, ball finds its way back to Knowles. Kylie Gauci's there again, trying to get around that screen. Somebody's been sitting in the trapezoid area, normally what we'd call the paint, but as you can see here at the Northern Beaches Indoor Sports Centre, the area is not in fact painted. The same colour as the rest of the floor. Kylie Gauci takes another dribble, wheels away, uses a couple of cross screens, finds Fuente Savante heading to the hoop. He gets the foul and the basket off the backboard.
Beautiful ball carrying there by Kylie Gauci as well. I think that allows other players to kind of move around a bit more and get in opportunities for shooting that she might not be able to shoot from herself.
She used that double screen beautifully and allowed one of the screeners to roll all the way down the middle of the key. See Fuente Savante, be much happier with that execution of free throw after missing 3 in a row in the first half.
Manly finding his rhythm a little bit more.
Manly get their beaks in front. This time it's from the corner, Luke Popel. Transition being really hotly contested by Wollongong. I think it's an adjustment they've made to the pace of Fuente Savante, who had his way in the first half. There's Kylie Gauci's out of her chair. She gets a bit of a hand from Bill Latham. Quickly back up. It's quite remarkable, Campbell, to see how the dexterity of these athletes, once their chairs go down.
And you'll see even a couple players who can get themselves back up, who really can take contact pretty aggressively and just keep moving off it.
Kylie Gauci gets the ball off to Cooper Tarleton, who liked the look of that mid-range shot, but it's a little short. Luke Popel weaving in and out, looking for a pass. This time it's on the money. Sean Russell makes the layup. Kylie Gauci wheeling down the other way. There's some contact. She's turned it over. Turned it over to the wrong man, Tristan Knowles. Makes the layup. A really concerted effort to put pressure on Manly in the backcourt from Wollongong. Just a stray hand there.
After noticing a couple turnovers, I think they've really clicked onto that maybe their moving forward isn't quite as strong. And their communication's fallen off a little bit in this second half. And I think the Rollerhawks are really learning to capitalise on that.
Certainly a significant tactical adjustment. You can see a lot more activity in the centre of the court, where in the first half it was both teams getting themselves back towards the three-point line. There's another deflection and almost a turnover. There is, in fact, almost again.
Pass is just going a little bit wild.
Reece Baxter admonishing himself there for almost turning that over. Got a little bit of chair pushing going on. Referee assessing we're going to have 10 seconds on the shot clock. 10 seconds for Manly to manufacture a shot. Kylie Gauchi to inbound the ball for them from the baseline. She's looking right, left. Looks Latham, logical option, manages to get it back herself. Shot clock is running down. I'm sure she's aware of that. Latham leans back in his chair.
Very tough shot.
Almost an offensive rebound there for Reese Baxter. Just slipped out of his hands. As Tristan Knowles identifies somebody's down on the floor. Sean Russell, he's up in no time. Referee Matt Wells having a good-natured discussion with the Roller Hawks bench. Gets play underway again. Tristan Knowles. Ooh. Luke Popel did everything but shoot that. He had me convinced he was shooting that three, and in fact there's a pass.
I was excited to see if he would take that three.
I think the recipient wasn't aware it was a pass. So we see a couple of substitutions for Manly. Sargood Foundation Wheel Eagles. And of course the Roller Hawks, their chief sponsor, Just Better Care, who provide disability services down in the Illawarra region. Fabulous they're on board in this comeback from the Wheelchair National Basketball League for 2024. You see Cone Janssens finding Mr. Reliable, but unfortunately for Bill Latham that bobbles out. Sean Russell on the move, down the other way. Finds Nick Taylor, he's got the skip past Tristan Knowles. He flicks, lovely pass out the back. Stibners. And foul assessed before that shot by Stibners. Contact in the paint. Victoria Simpson assessed that foul. She's a little uncertain, she was heading the other way. She now takes up her defensive assignment. As Wollongong to inbound from the baseline. Ooh, hand on that pass there.
Things getting a little bit fiery.
Referee Ron Joseph has found a foul. Emmanuel Fuentes Savante assessed that foul. One of the international players in the league. He's born in Mexico. Played a lot of his early basketball at college in the United States. He's found his way to Manly. Oh, beautiful cut.
Beautiful pass.
Sean Russell, the recipient there, able to finish the layup. Nice little give and go.
That's the kind of pass you'd be expecting from a former roller.
Fuentes Savante. Oh, Bill Latham allows his chair to roll backwards, as the equivalent of a fadeaway, as he releases that
fadeaway.
Beautifully.
Again,
Kylie Gauchi again making life hell for Tristan Knowles.
that hard defense.
But Nick Taylor able to make a 10 or 12 footer there. Wollongong just managing to keep their noses in front. Fuentes Savante over to Latham. He likes the look of it, gets the roll. (38-35), our scoreboard still just a fraction behind there. Knowles thinks three, no, thinks better of it. Finds Stibners, who uses the glass for two.
And really using that height that he's got. There's not too many players on the Wheel Eagles that can contest those shots.
Fuentes Savante wheels back from the screen, goes back to Latham, same spot on the floor, head fake. He finds Janssens in the middle of the paint. But referee Matt Wells says there's been some Manly players inside trapezium there for too long, or the rectangle as it is now.
Not going to let things just bounce around.
Nick Taylor bringing the ball up, unusually, for Wollongong. Here's the screen. Stibners, Knowles.
And that's why they were letting someone else bring it up. They
Rolling down the key.
They wanted to let Knowles run through that.
Almost unseen. Margin just starting to expand a little bit here as Fuentes Savante takes the lovely pass from Latham. It's his own give and go.
Doesn't want to let that gap grow too much, especially getting closer to this, to the end of this third.
Knowles back on the ball. Kylie Gauchi doing her best to get around that screen. Got a foul assessed. Kylie Gauchi being a little too physical with her chair, contacting that screen. Unfortunately, that's going to put Wollongong in the bonus for this quarter. Each team, once they accrue 5 fouls in a quarter, on that 5th foul and any subsequent fouls, it awards 2 free throws to their opponents. Usually Tristan Knowles misses the first of those 2 for Wollongong. Second one's a much better fit. Kylie Gauchi letting the ball roll, as you mentioned before. Campbell.
Wanting to use them much time as they can.
Latham looking, a lot of pass fakes there. Fuentes Savante down on the short post. Little short. Cone Janssens just took his time there. Little fake, leant back in his chair and caressed the ball in. Knowles, Gauchi, down goes Knowles. It's going to be another foul on Kylie Gauchi.
A little bit of an aggressive play there.
She does look around with a wry smile, but Tristan Knowles might have worked that play to his advantage, I think. As we see a timeout from the Manly Wheel Eagles. We're almost at the end of the third quarter. They're still hanging around that margin at 4 points now.
I think Kylie Gauchi realizing that she can't quite play that aggressive. I think she knows some of these players. She certainly knows Tristan Knowles pretty well personally. So I think just getting a little bit too physical and a little bit too friendly, maybe.
She has done a remarkable job today. I think it's her guarding of Knowles, who scored 59 points in the first 2 games this weekend combined, has been, his direct lines of driving to the key have been mostly cut off by Kylie Gauchi, and her really aggressive defending of those high screens has been fantastic to see.
I think that's what you need to see more out of the rest of Manly, is playing that really aggressive defense. I mean, theoretically not to that extent drawing those fouls, but really getting after those players and getting on them faster. I think that's what stopped the Roller Hawks in the first half and what's kind of let them down following into this half, is that they've allowed the Roller Hawks to shoot where they kind of want to, not kind of pressuring them quite as much. And maybe that does just come down to time. I mean, a lot of these players on Manly have been on court the entire time. I think Fuentes Cervantes might have played the entire time so far. So maybe that fatigue just kicking in a little bit.
It's a sight that Manly won't want to see. Tristan Knowles, roller star on the line, calmly makes the first. Kylie Gauchi bringing the ball up for the Wheel Eagles. Finds Fuentes Savante. He's a man of many tricks. Wheeling around his chair there, the ball rotating all over the place. Lovely bank shot. Cone Janssens. It's almost unguarded there. The Wollongong defenders happy to sit below the screen.
Happy to let someone else shoot and really paying the price for it.
Nick Taylor back to Knowles. He's guarded by a series of players there and wide open. Taylor left there on the baseline and he has no trouble converting that. So much attention on Knowles there that really defensive breakdown from Manly. Kylie Gauchi thinking inside pass. She finds Bill Latham. Left hand shot there. It's a little strong.
A little bit off balance too.
Knowles rolling down the other way. Wheels around. Just happy to look at 12 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Almost up to three-quarter time. Jansen's the rebound and cops a whack in the head for his trouble. Which is going to allow him advantageously to roll all the way down the other end of the floor and take 2 free throws, as both teams are in the foul bonus now in the waning seconds of the third quarter.
The Rollerhawks doing well to only allow that to happen in this last 20 seconds. I mean,
it's been a very physical half. There's been a lot more activity in the middle of the floor and the consequent chair collisions and people coming out. They're both off. Bill Latham somehow snakes his way into the middle. Beautiful finishes. How he got his chair through that gap, I'm uncertain. You can hear the benches counting. Taylor thinking pass, and it's a stray. Jansen's kicks, half-court heave from Emmanuel Fuentes-Savante, but that's a stray. Still a good finish to the quarter for Manly, and they're hanging on grimly.
Fantastic job. They're certainly still in this.
So given a little bit of foul trouble there and the number of fouls in that third quarter, are we likely to see potentially another adjustment for the last quarter?
Well, I think there might have to be a couple adjustments, certainly on the side of Manly. I think Kylie Gauchi possibly having three fouls at this point, that's a big threat to them. I mean, she's playing very hard defense and she's doing well to defend Tristan Knowles. And if she does have to be subbed off, that could be quite a threat to them. The Rollerhawks, I'm not seeing so much of that. I'm not seeing so much of a threat losing someone important with fouls. But if they do end up giving just a couple down, they might get into that foul trouble again, and if they get that early on, Manly will start turning over those shots.
Okay, if I were to, at three-quarter time now, first round almost complete, if I were to ask you to look at your crystal ball, Campbell, what do you see as, who are the likely finalists? We've only seen one round. We've seen the Red Dust Healers be very impressive, the Perth Wheelcats, and prior to this game, we've seen the team from Illawarra, the Wollongong Rollerhawks, look equally impressive.
I think I'd be looking at really the Rollerhawks. I'm surprised by this game after the last two, how they've turned out and how this one's turning out. And Perth, the Perth Wheelcats, I think they have a long history of being very strong, and a lot of infrastructure and very good coaching behind them. And a couple of key players that are really, really strong, and especially young players that are coming up who are quite strong. And I think that could be quite powerful for them.
Okay, well, I'm pleased to hear that. Yeah, there's a mix of teams, and we still have yet to see the Darwin Salties. They'll come into the league in round 3. They'll commence their games, and of course the Women's Wheelchair National Basketball League gets underway next week. 4 teams there. Fantastic to see that back in action.
Really exciting to see that back.
All right, but anyway, plenty to play for here. This game coming to you from the Northern Beaches Indoor Sports Centre. It's the final game of round 1 of the Wheelchair National Basketball League for 2024. Manly in the maroon uniforms find themselves trailing by 4. Make that 2 as their star Bill Latham finds a mid-range jumper over 2 outstretched hands.
Very good start, very quickly.
As Tristan Knowles, the star of the Wollongong Rollerhawks, brings the ball down the floor. Finds his running mate, Luke Popel, fellow roller. He's able to convert the mid-range jumper to restore their advantage. Emmanuel Fuentes-Savante with the ball there. Koen Jansen Gets a bit of contact on his chair, takes another dribble. Bill Latham double teamed there. And Fuente Savante, the long arm there, able to snatch that ball off the heads of potential defensive rebounders and finish.
Beautiful forward thinking there to move in on that rebound.
Tristan Knowles using a series of rolling semi-screens there, but again,
exact same shot twice in a row.
Luke Popel camped in almost the same spot as you said. His defender coming to help on that screening action at the top and him being left wide open. Kylie Gauchi streaking to the hoop. Finds who else? Bill Latham. He'll be disappointed, can't finish that, but Kylie Gauchi zooms around to pick up that offensive rebound. Finds Cone Janssens, he sees a bit of an angle, it's cut off. Rolls back in his chair and is unable to convert that roll-away shot. Is there a specific term for that when somebody rolls back in the chair? Is it a fadeaway?
I call it a fadeaway, I guess. I think it essentially has to be a roll-away.
As we see Luke Popel miss a three. Tristan Latham, cross-court pass, and wayward shot from Brett Stibners. Fuentes Savante is on his way down the floor. I think the shot clock's gone off in error there. So we'll see a slight break. It's a difficult job doing the score table. I can speak from experience that everybody expects all the timing things to run brilliantly, and certainly a big undertaking for the Manly Association. This is their first game they've hosted in a National League, brand new team, and they'll get much more comfortable with things as the season moves along. Cone Janssens, low post there, takes a couple of dribbles. Fuente Savante wheels around, so quick on that spin. Draws some contact.
Bill Latham very lucky not to get a foul called earlier in that. There was some off-ball contact that the umpires didn't quite see, or maybe didn't think was enough.
You're suggesting that wasn't legal, or?
I think it could have been called either way.
Okay.
I think that he just moved in a little bit harder than he probably should have, and lifted up a little bit. That would often get called as a moving screen, but.
Part of the beauty of all forms of basketball, the subjectivity of who's moving when and what, and how significant's the contact. There, I'm happy to say that AI will never be able to take over. And that is an offensive foul.
That's a very unfortunate
I think the look
foul.
on Victoria Simpson's face told the story there. She was well aware that she'd been caught.
She just didn't quite get to her spot in time. Probably milliseconds out from that.
Tristan Knowles, Stibners, left relatively wide open. It's back to the man that's had the hot hand, but that's long again. Luke Popel. Fuente Savante again picked up in the backcourt. They're determined to stop this transition. Bill Latham held up as well. Back to Janssens. He's wheeling his way down to the post. Thinks he likes the look of that. It's going to have to get something up here. Fuente Savante almost makes it go. Knowles in transition. Manly, as they've done all afternoon, a really good job to get back in transition D. Stibners finds a bit of a gap. But referee McIntyre's found some contact. As we see a couple of substitutions for Manly. Cooper Charlton back into the game. Tristan Knowles snakes his way inside and finishes. Fuente Savante with a few almost dance moves there in the chair. As he comes down, feints right, left. Another foul. The referee's really clamping down on that contact.
A lot of fouls coming out now.
Stephen Elliott assessed that foul for Wollongong.
I think as players get a little bit more tired, they're getting a little more aggressive and maybe just a little bit slack.
Latham. Oh, Fuente Savante, a little give and go. Oh, it's an underhand shot that just wouldn't quite get there. The Roller Hawks off and rolling. Beautiful selection of pass from Tristan Knowles. Stephen Elliott finishes. Just getting to almost critical levels, this lead. 8 points now. Done such a good job, and now a turnover in the backcourt. Knowles layup. He might have sent a timeout there. Manly coach Ron Foyt is biting his lip, prepared to let things keep going at the moment. Latham, heavily guarded. Fuente Savante provides a bit of a screen. Kylie Gauchi cuts hard, almost turns it over. She's triple teamed in the corner. Finds Fuente Savante, what a pass. But the referee on the far side has waved off that basket, indicated there was illegal screening action going on.
Really unfortunate to see contact off the ball.
Just must have been almost simultaneous. Such a beautiful pass from Kylie Gauchi.
You'd almost think that they would count the shot and consider the contact after the shot.
Tristan Knowles right in the middle of the paint. Just really taking control in his last quarter. Margin all of a sudden is out to 12. It was a nip and tuck affair the entire first 3.5 quarters. We might have lost a little bit of sound audio at the moment, but we'll continue. Bill Latham rolling back in his chair. Finds some support, but that shot from Cooper Tarleton's off, and yet again the Roller Hawks off to the races. Bill Latham, where you don't want him, right in the middle of the paint. Goes for the finger roll, manages to get his own rebound. Back to Brett Stibners.
Knowles with those fast runs really is what really is damaging to the Manly defence.
Tristan Knowles again, likes the look of that one. Can't get it to go. Bill Latham the rebound. He wants to get things moving naturally as we tick under 4 minutes remaining. Lead at 12. Fuente Savante, well defended there. Stephen Elliott doing the job. Bill Latham, left-hand pass as he falls out of his chair. Fuente Savante appealing for a foul, nothing doing. Tristan Knowles streaks the other way, and incredibly found a wide open Luke Popel, who I don't think can believe himself that he missed that layup. Kylie Gauchi takes a dribble, guarded by Popel, who's managed to get his way back into the game. And there's a foul.
Passes just going a little bit wild there. I think on both ends.
A really hectic sequence of up and back. In fact, that foul has been called before the shooting motion, a little further in the backcourt, so the ball to be inbounded by Manly. Really critical time for them now. 12 points. We're inside 3 minutes to play. Fuente Savante looks at 3. That's short, as it has been for him all night. He's had a brilliant game in transition and running the show for his team. Just that 3-point shot hasn't been his favourite tonight. Tristan Knowles looks at one the same himself.
Manly really just looking for any shot that'll go in this time.
Fuente Savante in transition has to wheel around. Gets a screen. Latham makes that fit.
They haven't given up hope yet.
Back to 10. Time is their enemy at the moment. Luke Popel manages to get his way well into the paint. You'd think the Roller Hawks would be happy to use some clock here, but nothing doing. Brett Stibner's bank shot.
Happy to extend their lead instead.
Fuente Savante desperately trying to find a hole in transition. Finds the man, Bill Latham, who draws some contact. The referee says that's before the shot. It'll be from the baseline. A little under 90 seconds to play. It's been such a fabulous effort from Manly to hang around all night. Just really the class of Knowles in the last couple of minutes managed to convert some scores where Manly hasn't quite been able to match. Cone Jansen's short on that jumper. It does seem that they've just worn them down, Campbell.
I think the speed and the strength of a few veteran players has really gotten the better of them here.
So it's going to be a baseline inbound for Wollongong. Hannah Dodd gets around to take that one. Tristan Knowles, Stibners, normally pretty reliable from that spot. Bill Latham off to the races here. Kylie Gouch, thought she was going to think about 3 there. She's going 2, little long. Latham follows, finishes.
Good recovery there, watching, see how that shot goes.
Well, and as we see just off screen there, Stephen Elliott goes flying out of his chair. The referee's determined Matt Wells on the job there. Incidental contact.
I think when you're rolling at speed, any little contact can kind of cause those things, so they're willing to say that.
It does look quite spectacular when the chairs flip like that, but the resilience of the players is quite amazing. Tristan Knowles,
Again,
bang.
that drive.
A little bit of contact there. He's popped out of his chair, but straight back up and no call from the officials. But the margin at 12 now, it seems that a really brave effort is not going to result in the first win for this brand new franchise.
Regardless, a really strong show. I think this should put a lot more pride in their following games.
And the officials have also found a technical foul. So that'll do just the one shot. Normally given for some infraction that doesn't involve. So we had the technical foul shot first. Now we'll have
team fouls, I believe.
It is team fouls, yeah. You are correct. I thought I'd seen the signal. Fuente Savante with steal there. Try and get some respectability to the score as he wheels inside beautifully.
Beautiful.
Makes the
carving.
layup.
That's exactly what you want to see from a player like that. Someone who's got such chair control, fighting for that ball.
And now we have got a timeout. And the timeout is Wollongong. Head coach Brennan Dowler there just wanting to make sure there's no last 30-second disaster. He will now have the option of inbounding the ball either from the baseline should he choose to do that, but I would think that he will take the ball to the front court, which is the option inside the last 2 minutes for any team calling a timeout. Quite often allows them to remove the ball from the hot or danger area.
And allows them to just hold on to that ball. I think there's not too much of a threat of Manly coming back at this point, but they want to hold that 30 seconds and just say, we're not letting you score anymore. We're going to keep you to that margin.
I can see Coach Dowler rather animated there in his pleadings. The players all touch hands or arms. Just letting him know they're all on board. And they are going to take the ball to the front court. The official on the far side will facilitate that inbound. Manly really in an awkward spot here. They could potentially foul to try and extend the game, but given the 9-point margin, really a lot of things mathematically have to go their way for any chance of that happening. Tristan Knowles content to hold on to it. It looks like Manly are not going to foul. Stibners wheels around, finds Knowles, who's relocated. He's lost the ball, which is wedged under one of the wheels of Fuentes Cervantes' chair. So in that situation, it becomes,
I believe it's just called a dead ball.
Okay.
And is given to whoever had possession.
Okay.
It's uncommon, but it does happen. Just if you manage to find the exact point to get it stuck under someone's chair, or if a chair happens to lift and then the ball gets knocked around.
As now we see Manly call their own timeout, and potentially some people watching might think, what's the point of calling a timeout now? Such a small amount of time to go and an insurmountable margin, theoretically. Anything you can offer there, Campbell?
I think it comes in two things really. One, they shouldn't give up. There's no reason to stop playing with 20 seconds to go, and I think they're going to use every tactic that they've got. They would treat this just like they're 2 points down. But also, you'd be surprised the amount that you can get out of 20 seconds, especially considering that they're into foul trouble. That the Roller Hawks are into foul trouble. If they let a couple fouls go, if they start fouling shooters taking especially threes, those points can convert really fast.
Yeah, I think the middle point you made there, it's particularly relevant, that preparation for future games. Where how do we handle a 20-second situation if we were down two? And you notice Coach Foy there drawing up something on the whiteboard. Let's see what they've got. Fuentes Cervantes gets a screen from Gauci, kicks back, and right shot. Latham, offensive board. He manages to put it back in. I think they got the shot they were looking for there. Cone Jansen's wide open on that skip pass. And the referees have
just a couple seconds left and they've called a timeout.
Seen enough, I think. No, it's yeah, we are going to have one final timeout. The referees look a little amused. Some of the players are a little amused as well.
But this is exactly how finals would play out if finals were getting this close. This is exactly what coaches will do. They'll play that time as much as they can, get in the best position they can. And I think that's important for these players to think of those games ahead and assume that they're going to get into finals, and so we play every game like that. We can't take anything for granted.
So we'd expect to see from Wollongong here advancing the ball that they're going to try and run some sort of pass shot play, simulating something they might do in an equivalent game.
Either that, or they'll just look to pass it and just kind of tap it between people so that they can't lose it. In a similar way that if they were up in a final and they don't want to let Manly get any chance, they might just pass it between people until the clock runs out. And that's exactly what they'll do.
Okay, and the players are now going to shake hands, done in very good spirits. A 7-point win to Wollongong, but given the previous two games on the Saturday and Manly's status as the new kids on the block, the new team in the National League, I think a fantastic effort, Campbell.
Fantastic showing. I think Manly's really shown that they are competitive. They've got a deep bench, I think, and especially considering we didn't see Annabelle Lindsay in this game, really showing that they can be competitive and they will fight every game, even if they've lost the first two in their series. And I think that's a real credit to them.
Okay, well that wraps up round one. 9 games in the books. If you're looking for any information about draws, streams, stats, please Wheelchair Basketball Australia, any of their social sites, Facebook, Instagram, their website, Twitter. You'll find all the information on, this has just been step one. The Women's League is underway next week as well. We look forward to a great season. My name's Brendan Parnell. I'd like to thank Campbell Fraser and Sportscast for providing everything here today, and we look forward to seeing you later in the season.